Angus, Brangus, Simangus, Simmental. Regardless of the breed, if a producer is interested in increasing the overall genetic quality of their herd, then he or she should consider utilizing modern beef reproductive technologies. Hi, my name is Garrett Jones, and I'm here to discuss the importance of utilizing modern beef reproductive technologies. We will discuss these technologies in terms of constructing a house to help us understand the concept. Now, the foundation of our house will be estrus synchronization, which is a tool that may be utilized prior to artificial insemination, but however, will be utilized prior to embryo implementation in recipient bee females. So there are many estrus synchronization protocols that are used throughout the world, but perhaps one of the best is the 7-day co-sync placental protocol, which, as stated by the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, is very similar to the 7-day co-sync placental protocol as used in virgin heifers. However, the main difference is the time for seed removal and prostaglandin injection to AI is increased. How does this protocol work? The protocol begins on day 0 with a seeder insertion being given and an injection of GnRH, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, being administered. Then on day 7, the seeder will be removed and an injection of prostaglandin will be administered to lysis CL. Then 60 to 66 hours later, the technician may artificially inseminate the bee female and also administer a injection of gonadotropin-releasing hormone. Estrus synchronization, as I mentioned, is just the foundation of our house. So let's discuss the first block up, which is, as I've already mentioned, artificial insemination. Artificial insemination, AI, is a beef reproductive technology that allows for a more economical calf crop while also allowing for superior sire selection. This is, of course, due to the fact that a producer must only own a straw of the bull's semen instead of owning the particular herd stud. In fact, according to Oklahoma State University Extension, AI may be used profitably on both the purebred herd and the commercial herd in both your virgin heifers and your cow herd. So how does the AI process work? The process begins with a technician removing a straw of the desired frozen item from a liquid nitrogen tank and placing it into a thaw box containing 90-degree water where it'll rest for 40 seconds. Once this time has been completed, the technician may remove the straw of semen and place it into an AI gun. Then he must thread the cervix, which is bypassing the 3 annular rings, and once it's completed, the technician may deposit the semen so that the sperm may go swim and fertilize the egg. Now, let's just keep on building to the capabilities of our house with embryo transfer, or ET. Embryo transfer, ET, offers similar genetic potential on the top side of our pedigrees as artificial insemination, but however, also allows for the selection of elite donor genetics. How does this process work? According to Mississippi State University Extension, ET begins with FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Some products that contain this hormone include folitropin and Pluzit. This hormone acts as an agent to stimulate follicular development in hopes that the maximum number of ovum are now being produced. Then a technician will artificially inseminate each donor 2 to 3 times, and then 7 days later, the technician will utilize a special fluid and flush all the embryos out of the donor's uterus, where then they will then be captured in a searchable filter. The filter will then be brought into a lab where it'll be rinsed, then placed under a microscope where the contents will be counted, graded, and evaluated to determine which stage each embryo is in. At this time, 3 things may occur with the viable embryos. Either A, they will be implanted fresh into recipient females, B, they will be frozen for later implementation, or C, they will be frozen, sold, and implanted into another producer's herd. As we will see, these 3 options remain constant with in vitro fertilization. Speaking of in vitro fertilization, let's now discuss the next capability of our house. In vitro fertilization, IVF, offers a similar genetic package to embryo transfer, but however, also offers an additional advantage thanks to the ability to aspirate donor female approximately 40 to 100 days of gestation, which cannot be done with conventional ET, but however, both can be performed on open females. How does this process work? According to Transovagenetics, IVF begins with a technician utilizing an ultrasound guided transducer, which houses a 55 centimeters long needle. This needle will then transverse the vaginal membrane and will puncture fluid-filled follicles on the ovaries containing the oocytes. The contents of the follicles will be aspirated out and captured in the same searchable filter, and this filter will be brought into the lab, rinsed, and the contents will be counted, graded, and evaluated. Then the contents will be placed into an incubator for 24 hours, where then they will then be fertilized and then placed back into this incubator for another 7-day period. Keep in mind, this incubator is designed to mimic the donor's reproductive uterine body in both temperature and acidity. So once the 7-day period is up, the same three options that I mentioned earlier will be presented. Now, now that we've completed and finalized our house, let's test it out to see how it may weather the constant storm of the beef industry. AI, ET, and IVF are wonderful beef reproductive technologies to help you improve the overall genetic quality of your herd. For it doesn't matter if a producer is trying to produce elite offspring for the show ring or is trying to produce a high yielding dual grading carcass. How could this be applicable? For example, the United States Department of Agriculture Cattle Inventory Report for 2024 states that the U.S. cattle inventory is down to 87.2 million head of beef cattle. This is its lowest mark since 1951 and is down 2% from 2023. Therefore, requiring the remaining cow herd to produce a similar amount of beef to continue feeding the exponentially growing human population. In conclusion, AI, ET, and IVF are great reproductive technologies to help you construct your beef reproductive program's house, and I hope you'll implement them into your own herd. Thank you.